Hello Earthlings, as you might have noticed, I've been a terrible person and haven't uploaded any videos for 6 weeks or something. But anyway, because I'm a terrible person at the moment, I get to do Nicole's part today. So this week's edition of Pages and Screen brings you the screen part doing the pages part. I don't really have a script for this, so I'm just making this up as I go along, basically, so expect me at my absolute most eloquent. Basically, I'm just going to tell you a bit about what I've read the past few weeks, what I'm currently reading, and what I'd like to read in the near future. So, have fun, I guess. First of all, I have read this. This is the Shakespeare Notebooks. The Doctor Who Shakespeare Notebooks, of course. I've been on holiday in Stratford last week, but actually a friend of mine lent me this just before that because she bought it in a comic shop. And it's actually really funny. All of those stories are based on a Shakespeare play and brings new Doctor Who elements into it. So it's sort of the Doctor and Shakespeare writing The Tempest together, or the second Doctor and his companions suddenly appearing in Macbeth. So you really do have to know a bit about those stories, the Shakespeare ones as well as the Doctor Who ones, to have fun with it. At some points the inside jokes were a bit too much for me, like I couldn't figure out what the references were and so on. So some of those I didn't quite catch, but some of it is really brilliant, so I'll just bring you a bit of a prologue. Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a planet for a stage, monsters to act, and time lords to behold the swelling scene. So Shakespeare people, Whovians, you know what to read next. Also, while I was away in Stratford, I read The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman. Let me say that right at the start, I'm a huge fan of Neil Gaiman's. I usually love his work, and it was the same with The Ocean at the End of the Lane. It's just magical. I love this because it's a look back at the protagonist's childhood, and there's all sorts of magical elements in there, and you never know which parts of it are true and which parts of it he made up in hindsight. I was actually pretty sad by the end of it, because there were all those loose ends and you didn't know what to make of them, if anything can be fixed really, and adulthood just came crashing in by the end of it. If you like Neil Gaiman, I can only recommend this. To me it felt a bit like the childhood version of American Gods, in a way. I actually can't wait to get a copy for myself and read it all over again, because I feel like I need to get a grasp on this book, and I think I can only do that by rereading it. Moving on to my to be read. I bought The Catcher in the Rye because it was 99 cents. I bought this in a thrift shop because whenever I see English classics lying around in a thrift shop, I can't just let them stand there. And I just figured, as an English major who actually knows very little about what's happening in this apparently very important book, I should just give it a read. Second on my to be read list is this lovely graphic novel. I actually saw this at our local comic shop a few times and thought about buying it a few times, but I never really made the decision. And I actually know very little about this as well, other than that it's set after the Reichenbach Fall and that it's got lovely artwork. It's sort of black and white, as you see all over the comic. There's never much colour, and supposedly it's very sad, and I'm a bit of a sucker for sad post-Reichenbach stories, so this is gonna be fun for me as a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, if you haven't noticed already. And on the third place of my to be read list is this lovely little book, A Dance with Dragons by George R.R. Martin. Just like Nicole, I have a really hard time actually reading those. I actually really like the overall storyline and I really care about the characters. But it's just so much work. And I get really annoyed by all those new characters popping up and just telling their stories all of a sudden, and all the old characters are just missing for 200 pages. I was particularly upset about the 4th book in this series because only half the characters were in it. So Daenerys wasn't in it, Tyrion wasn't in it, Jon wasn't in it, I think, although I don't care that much about Jon Snow actually. Psst. Usually with A Song of Ice and Fire it takes me about 5 attempts to start the book. So usually I just read 20 pages, toss it aside, read something else, try to read it again, until I get past the critical point of like 200 pages, and then I just keep reading and reading and reading, and it's suddenly really easy, and I get to finish it in my own time, but it usually takes a while. So yeah, half excited, half frustrated about a Dance with Dragons. And if anyone of you wants to know what I'm actually currently reading, it's this. At the moment I'm writing a term paper about fans. So fans on YouTube, especially nerd fighters, fans of the Vlogbrothers, if you can call them fans. That's actually what I'm investigating. So what I'm actually currently reading and should be reading is lots of academic texts about fans. And I'm just slowly working my way through the theoretical framework so that I can actually write this term paper. And it's a bit frustrating, but I'm getting there. So this was my very mild punishment because I missed 3 videos now. Tell me in the comments what sort of videos you would like to see in the future, if you want to see any more movie videos by me. I will link Nicole's video somewhere around here, I guess. So click on it, click on it, click on it, and it's gone. Bye!